The reason I started being an entrepreneur obviously was the scheduling and the timing and the have that flexibility to do what you wanted to do. So my first business, I was a home daycare provider. I had a child care center. I worked as an ECE before that, so it was natural that when I had my first daughter, I wasn't going to go put her in daycare and then go work in a daycare center. So I did that until my kids were in school, both full-time, so about 7 or 8 years, and then I was like, oh, I can't go back to get a job was a big thing, you know, and so I started a company, Organizing Solutions. I was a professional organizer for many years. Loved it. It was, again, a passion that I had. I always loved cleaning and organizing and doing all that. But when I was doing that, what I found was most of the time I was actually more coaching and counseling a lot of the people that I was working with. You know, cluttered mind, cluttered space. It goes together. So I found I was doing a lot of coaching and stuff going through that. But it was good, but the thing is, at that time, I was actually going through my own really, really personal bad struggles. And nobody around me knew, nobody really saw, because they just saw bubbly Jenny out there, you know, all the time kind of Jenny. But what they didn't realize is that I was majorly suffering from anxiety and depression. It's been something I've dealt with for a good 20 years. And at that time, when I had my organizing business, I was just in a really bad funk. And that's what I call it, when I'm in my funk. And a few years later, long story short, issues, challenges, pushing through them, I started working and became a partner of a wellness center and spa. It was awesome, but at the end of it, I was starting to feel that I just wasn't fulfilling my purpose anymore. I was working for other people. It felt like a job again, instead of it being my own business, which it started out to be. So I decided to take the brave leap because I didn't want a job. I wanted to be my own person. I wanted to share my message. I wanted to be speaking. I wanted to be getting out there and standing out and getting my message across. And so I quit my job, took that, you know, leap of faith, and that's where I met Marlon Shaw. And he was doing some workshops there, and I was like, you know, I have this crazy idea. I love dream boards, and I've been making dream boards. How many are you familiar with dream boards? Right? I know you are. have you ever? No? Okay. So dream boards are a visionary way of how to create the life that you want. Think of it as a GPS. It kind of gives you that focus to what you want to have more of in your life. So it's images and words and things, and it's kind of like a collage that you put up. Awesome for business. Awesome for motivation, keeping your mind on track. So I've been doing them for years, have always, for helping me reach different goals, get different things ahead. And I met with Marlon, and I said, you know, I have this crazy idea. I want to do a business around dream boards, but everybody I know thinks I'm crazy. You know, Jenny, you're leaving, you know, you're a partner in a wellness center and spa, and you're leaving it to go do dream boards? And I was like, yeah, I think I am. And I met with Marlon, and we started talking, and he was like, you know, it's your story of how dream boards help you get out of your funk. You know, like, they were a major part of how I've gotten through my depression, through anxiety. Every day I look at my boards. Every day they get me. So I started working with Marlon, and that was about 3 years ago. And when I started the business, it was like, okay, I'm teaching dream board workshops. Well, at the same time, I was also running a women's business networking association for company women. I was the chapter director for a couple of years out here, and I was running that as well as trying to get my dream board business. And Marlon was trying to get me to get speaking, and I had opportunities come up, and I started the funk started coming back. And so what I teach and what I talk about in a lot of my workshops is how to get out of the funk, which is what for me is that depression or that you know, not feeling good enough, not going to be able to get anywhere, you know, that kind of thing, and into your flow. And so it's the FF, and I talk about FF in a lot of my workshops, a lot of my events, and you can edit this out afterwards, but it's fucking fabulous. So it's my motto. I have it as one of my tattoos, is that it's fucking fabulous, and it's that reminder to myself that I can get through anything. I've been through everything. I can get through this again. So I started working with Marlon, and hey, Marlon, the first few times I'd have a speaking thing come up, and I was doing a presentation, and I'd be calling him the night before, like, I can't do this, Marlon, I can't do it. And I have had no problem public speaking, like on stages, couple hundred people, no problem. But I'd gotten myself into such a bad space in my mind that I really didn't think I could do anything. And Marlon was instrumental in that. He kept pushing me to keep going with it, and, you know, come on, Jenny, your message is important. You need to be sharing that. And so I can proudly, happily say now, the funk does not come back as much. It's there sometimes. This week's actually been a real funky week for me. But it's knowing and having the tools that get you through it. And that's what I teach in my classes and my events and things that I do. But I know that without Marlon in my corner, you know, just encouraging me. And it's not just for speaking, right? He's really great business mind. So any other components of your business that you're doing. But yeah, and then this summer I actually had my first like good paying speaking gig, and I was thrilled, and it really gave me that rush. And I called him out and I was like, Marlon, I'm so excited. And he says, well, of course, Jenny, like, of course. But you know, 3 years ago where I was to where I am now is such a huge difference. And now my dream board business, I'm still doing dream boards, but it's morphed into so much more. And I think that that's what that faith with your business too is, have that vision for where you are and where you want to go. Make a dream board, always good. But be open to just sort of seeing how it goes and go with the flow. And you know, you were saying it's easy when it's something you love and you're doing, right? And I really encourage people to find that flow, because when you follow flow and you're in that zone of excellence and everything, the universe, I'm getting bubbles now, or getting things. The universe brings you everything you need. When you are in alignment with your purpose, when you know what you're doing and you love what you're doing, and you have that joy and you get yourself in that zone, that's when the amazing opportunities come. That's when the things go. And if you're out speaking, people do see you as more of an expert. You know, people see me all over and they're like, oh, Jenny, you're all over the place doing this. I'm like, no, not really. But, you know, it's just getting that perception too, right? It's that you're out there speaking and sharing people, because there's so many people in so many industries that aren't comfortable even talking about what they do, right? That 1 minute, you know, introduction you feel when you meet somebody and have to bang it all in. It's not necessarily about that, right? It's just having that relationship grow and being able to, you know, be able to stand up in front of people and be able to talk and be a little bit more confident about yourself. So I don't know if that's what you wanted me to talk about, Marlon, but you can stop filming.